Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Tuesday, March 31st. There are 15 games involving state teams played on Tuesday, including a couple of pretty unexpected outcomes. Let's take a look at what was going on. Down at Joe Riley Park in Charleston, Coastal Carolina scored a pair of runs in the top of the ninth inning and held on to beat the Citadel 3-2. That extended the Chanticleers' winning streak to 8 games. They are ranked 14th in the D1Baseball.com rankings this week. Coastal's 21-7. But it was not easy. The Chanticleers did not get a hit until the 6th inning when Rex Watson hit a 2-out home run to break up the shutout. The Citadel, meanwhile, had scored a run without a hit earlier in the game to take a 1-1 lead. The Citadel went ahead 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Coastal got the tying run on base in the top of the 9th with nobody out. Sacrifice bunt was thrown away for an error, and eventually the tying run scored on a wild pitch. Then Dean Miho singled in the winning run, what proved to be the winning run, through a drawn-in infield to give the Chanticleers the lead, and Scott Duran came in to get the save. He allowed a leadoff single to Phillips Daniels. It was Daniels' second hit of the game and the only 2 hits the Bulldogs had in the game. Coastal, meanwhile, only had 4 hits. Jackson Appleman struck out 8 and did not allow a hit in 6 innings as the Coastal starter. But again, it's an exciting game down there at Joe Riley Park. Had almost 2,300 fans there, and they got their money's worth, I'd say. The Citadel fell to 12-15. Andrew Buffkin struck out 7 in 3 innings, did not allow a hit, of course, for the Bulldogs. Alex Lacoste hit 2 home runs and 3 other hits as College of Charleston slammed Winthrop by a score of 15-5 up at Founders Stadium. The Cougars snapped a 4-game losing streak and ended Winthrop's 6-game winning streak. The college is now 11-17. Winthrop fell to 21-8. Also for the college, Reese Holbrook had a couple of doubles, a triple, 3 runs scored, and 2 RBI. Down in Columbia, Tyler Bach had 4 hits, including a 3-run homer against his former team, as South Carolina run-ruled Wofford by a score of 11-1. The Terriers were held to 2 hits, a leadoff single in the first, and a hit in the 7th. They did threaten, though, a couple of times. Carolina eventually broke it open with a pair of 3-run homers by Bach and Will Craddock. Craddock also hit the game-ending RBI single in the 7th to invoke the run rule. Wofford fell to 19-10. Carolina improved to 14-16 as they broke a 4-game losing streak. Up in Fairfax, Virginia, Malloy Haganey had 3 hits and drove in 5 runs, and USC Upstate scored 4 runs without the benefit of a hit in the 9th inning to beat George Mason by a score of 14-10. The Spartans drew 17 walks, and 5 of those came in the 9th inning, as well as 2 2 hit batsmen. So they got 7 runners on base, basically without having to swing the bat, and they held on to win that. Again, final score is 14-10. The Spartans evened their record at 15-15. George Mason fell to 14-12. For Upstate, Tyler Lang was 2 for 4 with 3 walks, a run scored, and 4 RBI. Up in Cullowhee, Matthew Rollison had 3 hits and drove in 4 runs, and Presbyterian beat Coastal Carolina by a score of 6-5. The Blue Hose are now 6-24. They had a 6-2 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. Western got 3 runs in the 9th, but PC held on for the win. Western fell to 18-12. Also for PC, Tucker Meredith got the win. He went 2 innings. He struck out 2 in that game. Elsewhere, C.J. Dean doubled twice and drove in 4 runs as North Greenville handled Lander by a score of 11-2. The Trailblazers are now 29-7 on the season. Lander fell to 20-15. For North Greenville, they had a shutout until Carter McCormick hit a 2-run homer in the 9th inning for the Bearcats. Also for North Greenville, Thomas Powell had a double and a home run. Also, down in Newberry, 3 pitchers combined on a 5-hit shutout, and Francis Marion blew by Newberry by a score of 14-0. The Patriots are now 28-7. Newberry fell to 20-15. Also for Francis Marion, Riley Orr had a single, a double, 2 walks, a run scored, a stolen base, and 3 RBI. Elsewhere, Henry Rumble was 4 for 4 with a double, a triple, and 3 RBI, as Bob Jones beat Alice Lloyd 10-4 in Game 2 of a doubleheader. The Bruins lost the first game by a score of 6-2. The Alice Lloyd box score actually listed as 6-3. They somehow gave the Bruins another run. And there are other box score issues. Right now, I do not have Game 2 box score listed or a link to it. Bob Jones is now 8-17, snapping a 5-game losing streak. Alice Lloyd fell to 21-12. In Hartsville, Luke Kimmery got Cougars started against Georgia College with a 2-run single in the first inning, and the Cobras went on to snap a 8-game losing streak with a 9-2 win. Matthew Lipsy was 2 for 5 with a double, a steal, and 3 RBIs for the Cobras, who are now 8-25. Georgia College fell to 13-19. Columbia International had a pair of 5-run innings to begin the game, and they wound up winning over Voorhees by a score of 18-4 in 7 innings. That was the 800th career win for Rams coach Rock Musgraves, or it could be Rocky, R-O-C-K-E. It's his first year at Columbia, but he's had success at other sites. Again, his 800th career win. So congratulations to him. The Rams are now 13-22. Voorhees fell to 7-18. Darius Keaton was 3 for 3 with an RBI for the Tigers. Also for CIU, Hunter Cheslak was 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. Cooper McDaniel reached base 5 times and stole 2 bases as USC Beaufort topped Savannah State by a score of 10-7. The Sand Sharks are now 8-25 on the season. Savannah State fell to 16-15. For Beaufort, as I mentioned, McDaniel had a good game, 3 for 4 with a double, 2 walks, 2 stolen bases, 3 runs scored, and 2 RBI. Nice win for the Sand Sharks in that game. Jalen Tidwell doubled twice, homered and drove in 4 runs, and Erskine beat Claflin 16-1 down in Orangeburg. The Flying Fleet improved to 18-19. Claflin fell to 3-24. The Panthers have lost 22 straight games, and the opponents have scored in double figures in the last 11 games. Been a tough stretch for the Panthers. Also for Erskine, Drew Potts was 3 for 5. He scored a couple of runs and drove in 3. And in the last game of the day involving a state team, Augusta got 13 hits and drew 9 walks to turn back Southern Wesleyan by a score of 12-7 over in Central. The Jaguars snapped a 5-game losing streak. They're now 16-19. Southern Wesleyan fell to 11-25. For Southern Wesleyan, Cade Bowling was 3 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBIs. How about some games outside the state? Now, there are several games still going on as I record this, just before 11 o'clock on Tuesday. In the ACC, Boston College clipped Maine 7-4. The Eagles are now ranked, I believe, number 22 in the country. Georgia Tech ripped Auburn 13-3. The Tech's number 3 in the country. Auburn's number 18 in D1 baseball. Number 10 bounced back from a couple of weekend losses to beat Old Dominion 16-2. Number 7, Florida State doubled up Stetson 6-3. Louisville pounded Eastern Kentucky 17-7. Pitt took the measure of Mercyhurst 27-3. Duke dropped Davidson 14-9. High Point blanked Wake Forest at Willard Stadium in High Point 1-0. Liberty scored 3 runs in the 9th inning to beat NC State and had the Wolfpack their 7th straight loss. Miami handled Florida Gulf Coast 12-4. Virginia turned back neighboring Radford 13-6. And Cal and St. Mary's were canceled. North Carolina and Campbell are still playing as I record this, and the Campbells have a lead late in the game. In the SEC, number 5 Georgia gave up 6 runs to Georgia State in the top of the 8th, but they bounced back with 8 runs in the bottom of the inning and won 14-9 in Athens. Number 4 Mississippi State blanked Grambling 12-0. Jacksonville edged number 21 Florida 4-3. The Gators were coming off a weekend sweep of Arkansas. Ole Miss beat Little Rock 7-4. Number 11 Oklahoma beat Oral Roberts 4-0. Number 20 Texas A&M crushed Sam Houston 16-3. Number 16 Alabama got a run in the 9th to beat Jacksonville State 4-3. Missouri scored all 8 runs in one inning, but Kansas scored 6 late in the game and won 11-8 in that big rivalry. Tennessee whipped Austin Peay 13-4. Vanderbilt beat city rival Belmont by a score of 11-3. Let me check another couple. Kentucky beat Miami by a score of 14-11. The Cats are number 22 in the country. Arkansas and Miami are going to extra innings. And number 2 Texas beat Texas State 10-8. Also in the D1 baseball rankings, Southeastern Louisiana beat number 8 Southern Mississippi by a score of 5-1. Not much in the way of games going on Wednesday. There is one junior varsity game going on involving Southern Wesleyan. The only game involving a varsity program is Clemson playing Wake Forest at Truist Field in Uptown Charlotte. Game time is 7 o'clock. The game does not count in the ACC standings. If you've not been to that ballpark and you got some time, go out there and check it out. It's really a nice stadium, a beautiful backdrop looking at the skyline of Charlotte. And I happened to notice that former Wake Forest basketball standout Muggsy Bogues, and former Charlotte Hornet, of course, too, is scheduled to throw out the first pitch in that game. Anyway, you can always find out what's going on in college baseball in the state of South Carolina at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I provide in-game updates on my X handle, which is Palmetto Base. And you can always email me at rudyjones at PalmettoStateBaseball.com with your comments or criticisms. I'm a big boy. I can take it. But for now, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com saying good night. Jesus loves you.